Easter eggs and prediction for season 6, episode 10 of Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So beware, spoiler, not cut up. So the episode title is called Leap, which is referring to Izel leaping bodies, but also a disturbing one that had happened to what's called Davis. So there's a bit of two meanings. So yeah, we start off the episode with uh, the team trying to figure out why May shot Sarge, not knowing about Izel yet. And you have Yo-Yo and Mac talking, and Yo-Yo says, "I understand wanting to prevent future suffering. She's done it before, and she's not the only one," which is referring to from last season where Ruby she had to kill Ruby, but also referring to what happened about Rain with May. So yeah, but then the scene goes into uh, a conversation with Yo-Yo, Daisy, and Piper. They say that May doesn't like guns, which we've known this since season 1, episode 2, when she says, if I need a gun, I will take one." But this conversation leads to a little bit of conversation about Daisy saying that she would beat him into a pulp and she'd enjoy. And Yo-Yo said she'd enjoyed it, and then Piper finished it saying it would be fun to watch, which could be a reference to season 1, episode 14, when May would have had done the exact same thing, where she beat up Ian Quinn because he shot Sky in that the episode before that. So yeah, then you have uh, Deke and Fitz bond, like grandpa and grandson bonding time, and they're talking about Coulson's death and about who he was, and did Deke get to meet him and whatnot. But the conversation starts to lead more towards who Deke is and why he left Shield and whatnot, because he says he was trying to find a place in this world, which we knew that since the finale of last season. But apparently the attack on his company by Sarge has been ruining his company and whatnot. But we find out he has a realization in this episode of why he is the way he is, and it's because the way he grew up with all he knows is about these little devices that were on the wrist with tokens. So basically earning money is the way they survived in the future. So he's using that knowledge from that his experiences into the real world, the past, and not realizing money's not everything. So that's why he is the way he is now. But all of wanting to become a billionaire. So yeah. But after this, you have this scene with Piper and Deke, and Deke's asking her if this is a grandfather that doesn't hate him this time, referring to last season how the other Fitz hated Deke because the way that they met each other in the future. So and since this Fitz has no idea of what happened in the future of how he was, they can start off scratch, and seems like they're going to be bonding a little bit more than the other Fitz did. So yeah, but then you see Izel jump to Deke, and she goes to where the monolith energy is, and you have this agent pop ups and saying that the security measures is for them to keep out people who have a history of stealing Shield tech, which we've known that Deke's company is all about based on Shield tech that he stole. So yeah, it's good that they have security measures for this instance. Yeah. But you go to Yo-Yo and Daisy. They figure out that the last person May saw or whatever was Davis, so they go to visit him, and he's having a bit of a hangover because of all the beer at the party he had, also being drummed what's called also from Izel being in him and whatnot, so he's a bit dazed. But he mentions the Space Puff incident of 2019 of how he was on drugs, so it's a running joke, obviously. So I wonder I wonder if they're going to keep this running joke until the finale, because the finale is only in 3 more episodes. So I'm assuming they would. So yeah, if even though he's no longer there. So yeah, but he mentioned gives basically Jacko a nickname because he calls him Jacko the Giant. Because I don't think they mentioned that before. So I'm assuming that's just him referring to Jacko there. So yeah, and they find out that Izel jumped from body to body. So that's where the scene's coming from next, is that once they realize what's going on, they Mac locks down the Shield base, and Shield they have this idea that they're gonna share a secret that one of them can confirm that they're telling the truth, because Izel has no host memories of who these people are, so she could not know if it's truth or not. So yeah, we have Deke mentions that I talk a lot, I don't have any secrets, which isn't the case, which is kind of a missed opportunity for this episode. So I wonder when they're going to reveal it, but the secret is that he has the framework video game and has an inspiration of Daisy inside that video game. So I wonder when they're actually going to reveal that to Daisy, that she's in the framework, maybe the last episode of the season, maybe. But we have another secret that Yo-Yo reveals, is that she apparently misses her home the most when it's her mother's birthday. I wonder why it's that specific date. Is it just because it's her mother's birthday, or is it because her mother's dead and she misses her and whatnot? So, because I don't know if they've ever really mentioned her family that much, other than her cousin. So yeah, but we have Mac tried what it's called, test Daisy to see if she's infected or whatever, and possessed by Izel, and apparently she sends money to Lincoln's sister, Amanda Campbell, which I'm not 100% sure if Lincoln ever mentioned he had a sister, so it might be just a new thing for this episode. But you see how how much of effect Lincoln had on her, because it's still she's still thinking about him, even though it's been years and years and years. So but it still hasn't gone away. So yeah, but Mac finally realizes that it's Fitz who's in Izel, so he decides to test it out, and he asks Fitz, where was Simmons when she was undercover when we first met, which was in season 2, so she was in Hydra at the time. So yeah, but there was this other missed opportunity here, is for Davis's secret was they could have revealed that who or how Davis survived Ada, because in season 5 he mentions it to Piper and Deke, so they could confirm if Davis was telling the truth or not. So I wonder if they're going to reveal it from one of them later on. So, or they're still going to keep it a running joke that none of the main agents know how he survived. So yeah. Then they go to try to figure out why Izel's here and whatnot, and they're talking about the fear dimension, how the 100th episode, how Deke saw his mother, he fought a Kree, and that Fitz and Simmons got married in a forest and whatnot. So yeah, and this is just a random thought or question or whatever, is who was the best impersonation of Izel? Who you think it is? Personally, I enjoyed Deke's impression a lot more, because you don't really see that side of him much, of that weird, that dark side of him. So this lately anyway. So I really liked how he transitioned from the evil to the goofiness of his character. So yeah, but going on to the Sarge stuff, is he was having these memories of his past or whatever, apparently, and he is remembering 2 women, and one of them is Sky from season 2, episode 5, when wants to go see her father, and then season 1, episode 6 with May, when he just had his he wanted to see if he was all okay, so he had uh, like a health assessment or whatever. So yeah, but he finds out, or we find out that it is Sarge is technically a clone in a way, because the Fear Dimension's energy created another Coulson and brought him back to the past, and to another planet as well, where this character named Patatutik, which they've mentioned since the episode this season started. So we find out that it actually is him, not as Izel. And the reason I'm bringing this kind of stuff up is because for some odd reason people are saying that this is our Coulson that's coming back, but it's actually another Coulson. Like how this Fitz isn't our Fitz. It is technically, but he's lived a different part of a different life than it was in all of last season. So but this Coulson has a possessed demon, has two arms now, no robotic arms. He's all completely healed, it seems like, because of has no scars on his chest. So it is a different Coulson. It may look like him, has his DNA or whatever, but it is a different Coulson. So I don't understand why people are saying it's our Coulson when our Coulson died last season. So yeah, that's just my thought process there. So yeah, they mentioned that the Fear Dimension created all this or whatever. But the last person who gets possessed is Yo-Yo. She was running towards basically to stop Izel from getting into Daisy. So because Daisy is kind of a pretty powerful person, so she could have destroyed the world. So it's best that kind of Yo-Yo is the one that gets possessed this time. So yeah, but you see May and Daisy having a conversation as Mac basically surrenders himself, and May says he's trusting his team, which is, you see how far his character has grown this season, because at the beginning of the season he was having a hard time being director and whatnot, and one of the things that the hologram Coulson said was, your job is to put a team together you trust. So you see here he's trusting his team. And they mentioned another character this episode, and I don't think they're going to actually go anywhere with this character in general, but they mentioned that that if Sarge and Izel are people like Ghost Rider, the holding cell that he's in, it's not going to stop him. So it's a possibility that people are saying it's a possibility that a Ghost Rider will appear again, but I don't think it's going to be that way. That was just a reference so that the audience knows what kind of character Patatutik and Izel are. So yeah, but I wonder exactly what is going to be the consequences of this possession of Coulson, is because we had seen like I said, they've said beings before with Robbie and the Ghost Rider or whatever. So what will happen once this character leaves Coulson? Is he going to start dying again? But since his wounds are healed or whatever, what will happen to that? Or it possibly be that Coulson could be traumatized, similar to how Mac was traumatized with Hope in season 4 once the Ghost Rider entered him. So that's my prediction. Coulson might, once this being leaves, that Coulson will be traumatized and he will not want to become the director again. So yeah. And the other one is that there's a possibility that there might be another evil character, which would be Deathlock, because he was also near the monolith when Coulson was. So he might have traveled back in time as well. So comment down below if I missed any Easter eggs or references, and also if you have any predictions for the upcoming episodes. See ya.